And again, as we're moving through the years, is there a consistency as Germany begins Anschluss, invading, taking over Austria, the Munich Agreement? Is there a shift, or is it just a continuation of what they had been writing about before?
Up until the invasion of Poland for the British press barons, it's just a continuation. Is whatever Hitler does, each escalation is treated as, okay, that's his business, it's not our business. And the most important thing is to look to the empire, is what the British said, and not to the continent. And so let the continent do what the continent has to do. It's none of our business. And in the US, it was also strongly argued by all of the media barons that whatever is happening way over there in Europe is none of our affair. And so that includes, the reoccupation of the Rhineland. It includes the Anschluss. It includes the Munich Agreement, which all of the press barons thought was a terrific, what a stroke of genius and blow for peace.
What was a Lend-Lease, and how did the media, the barons, tackle Lend-Lease?
Well, Lend-Lease was Franklin Roosevelt's attempt to help the British as they were holding out against the Germans in early 1941. So by this point, France had fallen, and the Germans were still in early 1941 in a non-aggression pact with the Soviet Union. So they were chiefly fighting the British. So Roosevelt wanted to help the British, and he wanted to help them by giving them arms without requiring them to pay for the arms, because the British were basically running out of money by that point. So Lend-Lease was a bill that became a law to lend, lease, or otherwise dispose of armaments or any other material for war to anyone that the president thought was defending U.S. national security. So the press barons put on a tremendous fight to stop Lend-Lease, because they saw it as a sign that the U.S. was definitely taking sides in the European war, as of course it was, and they were right about that it was a step that could lead to all-out intervention. So they put on a tremendous blitz against it, trying very hard to convince members of Congress to fight against the bill. And they used apocalyptic rhetoric. They said if Lend-Lease passed, it would be the end of democracy in the United States. It would be the end of the American Republic, that Roosevelt would become a dictator if it were passed.
And I assume, but maybe incorrectly, the UK, the British press barons, their take on Lend-Lease, kind of hard for them to criticize it, no?
Right. So the British press barons were opposed to the war until Britain was actually in it. And then they had to, of course, start supporting the war, although, privately, at the beginning, they were looking for ways to come up with some sort of peace deal with Hitler to end the war early. But when that didn't turn out, Lord Beaverbrook became a great advocate of winning the war. So he really turned around. But during the Lend-Lease debate, Lord Rothermere had actually died by then, but Beaverbrook was a big advocate of Lend-Lease because it would help his country.